Welcome to episode 21 of Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans for the fans. I am your host, Conrad Kushman. And with me tonight, I have two very special guests. First, returning once again, Robert Anderson.
What's going on, people?
Also, from episode 1, he's been missing. 20 episodes it took to get him back. My main man, Derek Shelton.
What's going on?
All right. Folks, before we get started with this, please, if you're on Facebook, type in your computer, your phone, whatever right now, Everything Pro Wrestling Group. Join the group. I'll approve it immediately, and join the conversation. We like to have a lot of fun, talk wrestling, talk non-related wrestling things. Whatever you want, bring it up. Join the group. Lots of fun. Also, make sure you leave a like on this video, comment on the video, and share the video with your other wrestling friends who would enjoy this content. Now, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of the show here. We're going to start off with the Raw review. Yesterday, Raw was in Greensboro, North Carolina, Flair Country, and it was the go-home show for Extreme Rules. All right. AJ Styles comes out. He's calling out Roman Reigns. He says Roman Reigns is actually a liar. Some people probably like that. And Reigns comes out saying that the only thing that matters is the World Heavyweight title. AJ Styles says that Reigns is the guy he's going to be on Sunday. And Reigns hits Styles as Gallows and Anderson holds him back. Little tit-for-tat toss-up here. What do you guys think right now of Roman Reigns' mic work? We're going to go Robert, then Derek. Robert, what do you think right now for Roman Reigns as far as mic work is concerned? How's he doing? And same for AJ.
Reigns is getting better. He's reacting to the crowd better because they were chanting, what was it? We want Rollins, we want Rollins. It's like, you're not getting Rollins. You got Roman Reigns and AJ Styles right now. I thought that was a good comeback. He's getting better. They had a good back and forth, I thought, yesterday. AJ, too. AJ, he has that southern accent that, Vince hates, but he came off well. He came off determined.
Derek, what are you thinking right now, Roman Reigns' mic work?
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree. His mic work has gotten better. I don't know. To me, I'm still kind of not sold on his character, where they're trying to go with it. But his mic work has gotten better. I always thought AJ Styles was good on the mic, so I didn't expect anything less. He came out and said what he had to say, and I was impressed with it. So I think it was pretty good overall.
I hear you. I think that they're both doing very well right now. I'm not a fan of a lot of the Roman Reigns haters who want to bash the guy and say he's horrible. And we also see promos throughout the show for John Cena. I don't have it written in the notes, so I'm going to mention it now. To all those fans who, in the polls and stuff that I posted, said that they want John Cena over Roman Reigns, remember that in 2 weeks, when John Cena's back, I want to hear those same things. I want to hear a little cheers for him. I want to hear all the good stuff about him. I know I said to choose between them, but you made your choice, so I want to hear it. Anyway, back to the Raw review. We get into a match that I have next to it that was an NXT Classic. Two of my favorite guys who were in NXT when I first started watching it on Hulu, which is Sami Zayn versus Cesaro. The match goes to a no contest because Miz and Kevin Owens, who was gold on commentary, Kevin Owens, start brawling with each other. Shane O'Mac comes out and basically makes a match between them, and Stephanie it was the usual match. Stephanie comes out, changes it, and makes it where you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Miz and Cesaro. And I'm getting a little echo from somebody, so I don't know if someone's too close or what it is. But you get it. The match starts. If you're an indie fan, you're happy to see this because people love Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the unwilling tag partners, basically defeat Miz and Cesaro. Robert, what are you thinking right now?
I just want to say that Kevin Owens so far is my MVP of 2016. He's been gold in every aspect.
I love him on the mic, man.
Everything they've given him so far, he hasn't dropped. I thought the match started out, it was what it was, didn't really get the momentum that it should have got. That tag match was great.
Absolutely.
Everything. Kevin Owens in the ring yelling at Sami Zayn, "If you weren't here, we would have had this match won already." I just love him when he's just talking trash.
Yeah.
Derek, what are you thinking right now for Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Miz, Cesaro?
I have to agree. Kevin Owens has been the star player of 2016 right now. The fight Owens fight, how could you go wrong with that? He's showing improvement every night that he's wrestling. He's adding more drama to the conflict between him, Sami Zayn, Miz, and Cesaro. So to have them all go at it at one time and then finally get into this tag team match when you got everybody against each other, but now they have to be on the same team, I thought that was great.
You get a lot of different dynamics with it. Like Robert said, it was definitely good to see Kevin Owens just trash talk. I think he understands what it means to be a heel. Even at like the house show events when he's yelling Chinlock City because the fans want to see them wrestle, and he's just like, I don't care. I'm gonna put guys in chinlocks because I know you hate that. So they're in a headlock sitting here, and he's like, Yep, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Get mad. I don't care. And he just, I think Solid Monster just brought this up on his podcast. I love how Kevin Owens will do something where he makes you think he's going to do the spectacular dive. Like he's going to jump over the ropes, come at you, and then he just doesn't do it, and he'll walk outside and just kick you in the head and laugh. And I'm like, what a jerk move to do. Like, I thought you were going to do some sweet flip. Why would you do that? And he's just a great heel. We get to the next match, or I'm sorry, not next match, next segment. Jericho says Ambrose will apologize for destroying his jacket, says he's more iconic than Andre the Giant to WWE, and he should have Ambrose arrested for destroying his property. One of those kind of segments. We'll go on to the next match. Skip that. We get Primo and Epico defeating Scott Jackson and Brian Kennedy. Primo and Epico, I guess, I don't know if they're called the Shining Stars or if this is their gimmick, or I don't know if they're selling real estate or timeshares. Like, I don't get what these guys are supposed to be. I don't even know if they're heel or not. I'm confused. Put Rosa back with them and just let them be Primo and Epico. This is what it's going to be, but they squashed two guys, and I think they did a good job, the Jackson and Kennedy. But the disconnect is, what are they supposed to be? I have no idea. Primo and Epico. Robert, what do you think of those guys right now? Do they have an upside? I mean, you fired, who did I go through last week? You fired Damian Sandow, but these guys are still around? I mean,
they're still around because as a favor to Carlos Colon. That's Vince's boy forever, so you know where that comes from. I'm actually a fan of Primo and Epico. I'm not really sure what these characters are supposed to be. I did like their finisher as a callback to the Eliminators with the top bottom kick, whatever the hell it's called, but I did like that. They've always been good wrestlers.
Absolutely. I just don't think they need the gimmicks or whatever they're trying to throw on them. That's just me. I don't know. Epico and Primo's never really been oomph either. I think it'd be better if they had Carlito with them.
I agree.
I'm just throwing it out there. Derek, what do you think of Epico and Primo?
Honestly, until last night, I didn't really know who they were. Like, it's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm not mad. It's just funny.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know who they were. I'm looking. I'm like, all right, so who are these new bums coming in?
Brandon and Robbie J.
Right. So when I seen them last night, I'm like, when they announced their names, I'm like, wow, that's them. This is a terrible gimmick. And then I kind of just left that match, man. I didn't want to watch it. I was like, this is terrible. Because for the longest, I didn't know who they were. I'm like, what kind of gimmick? This was like the Los Matadores. Like, they were just bringing them in, showing them, and like, okay, well, can we get some more info on them? And it was the same thing. It was just like, who's the Shining Star? It's like, I don't know who you are. And then they said Epico and Primo. I'm like, wow, that's really them. I am not impressed at this point in time.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I gotta leave it to the we'll see.
I'd like to see where it goes. But I think they can have a good dynamic with the New Day.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know what I always think makes me resent Epico and Primo? And as a wrestling fan, I have to know where my bias is sometimes. I never forgave them for ending Air Boom's title reign with Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne. I loved that team when they had the belts, and I was like, why did these guys beat them? They're so garbage. Like, no one likes them. That was just me, though. Maybe that's just me hating.
They were never bad wrestlers, though. It was just
No, I agree. They were never bad wrestlers. But at this point in time, I'm like, they've been gone for so long, and I'm like, wait, whoa, Epico and Primo, Shining Stars, like, whoa, no, I'm lost now.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they make something happen with it. I don't know. Maybe they're no Eddie and Chavo. I'll just say that. Hopefully they put something together and it works, and they find their gimmick and make it work for them.
You know what? I tell you what. If they get the edge that Carlito and Eddie Guerrero have and that mean streak, then they'll be very believable. But at this point in time, it's kind of like, all right, I gotta kind of stay away from you with like a 10-foot pole because I gotta see what you're really doing.
I think they gotta beat down the Usos.
Yeah, they have to do something big.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when they get a break, hopefully. There's another scene throughout this. Shane's backstage show talking to Dean Ambrose, which will come into play into this segment. So Dean Ambrose comes to the ring demanding Chris Jericho comes out and talk to him. Jericho comes out saying Ambrose is going to apologize to him. Dean Ambrose says no. Ambrose doesn't apologize and challenges him to a match at Extreme Rules. Jericho then starts going on this rant about how he's the real lunatic and not Dean Ambrose, and no one's crazier than him. And Ambrose says he has a gift for Jericho, and from the top lowers the steel cage, and the cage comes down. And Robert, were you here by that time when that occurred?
I came right after that.
All right. Well, the cage comes down, and long story short, you start hearing this like Brian Pillman-esque music. And it's just like some horrible 90s like psycho music with the dun, 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 dun. And you see all this stuff on the steel cage. And basically you see weapons. You see Mitch the Plant, a 2x4 and barbed wire, a straitjacket, kendo sticks, fire extinguisher, all types of stuff. And he says that they're going to have a match called the Ambrose Asylum match. And it's different. It seems like it's a steel cage match kind of, but there's no pinfalls. You can only win by pinfall or submission, it seems like. And there's no escaping the cage, climbing over. There's just weapons and the two guys in there. So I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. It's gotten mixed reactions. So, Robert, what do you think of the match once you read what it's going to be with Ambrose and Jericho?
I feel like they're going to deliver. They should have a good match. I just feel like Ambrose's character right now, he's like 15 years too late. This would have been super over back in our day. I don't know. It's not really getting with me.
Yeah, I noticed shout out to Nelson Balla and Mark Smoke, guests from last week. They were kind of going back and forth about it today, if it's a good gimmick or if it isn't. And they got into it a little bit about it, and they both brought up some good points. So, I don't know. Derek, what do you think? The Ambrose Asylum match, is it something that you're interested in, or do you not care about this? Does it not matter to you? It's like a cage with weapons. I mean,
yeah, a little bit yes and no. I think this has waited a little too long. I think if he would have brought this out when he was going up against Bray Wyatt, I think there would have been a lot more pop for it. Him and Jericho, I mean, yeah, having them do it now is just kind of like, all right, well, it's something different because he messed up his jacket or whatever, and then now they're going back and forth, and now he's got the cage for the asylum. It's like, I don't know, I don't think it really brings out that type of match for Jericho. Talking about I can get a little crazy. Well, he did the same thing against Bray Wyatt, so I think this is kind of played out at this point. I think they could have done it a little bit better.
I think the reason that it wouldn't work against Bray Wyatt is because of WWE more. WWE doesn't trust Bray Wyatt yet to handle a brand new match. With Jericho, Jericho's kind of like the new Shawn Michaels. You know what you're going to get from him. You know he's going to deliver. in a new match, and he's going to do business correctly. So I think that could be the main reason why they did what they did. I'm just throwing it out there.
True. No, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I think just the pop of it right now is just it's a little too late.
Some people say, do you guys feel Dean Ambrose's character is stale or Jericho's? Robert?
This is the best Jericho I've seen in years.
Really, since
I love
2008?
this Jericho. 2008 Jericho was on a different level, but since then, like he's just been there. Now this, I love heel Jericho.
Okay.
But
what about Ambrose?
Ambrose, I don't know if I would describe it as stale, but it's just not clicking like it should be.
I feel like he's held back. I think that's the problem. You have to let him go full with this gimmick or don't do this at all. It felt like that at WrestleMania when we watched it. We reviewed that one too, and Dean Ambrose wanted to do all this crazy stuff in that match with Brock, and they told him no. Well, how is he the lunatic then? How is he even doing any of this? He knew he had to take a beating against Lesnar and basically get murdered and still fight back. Why didn't they do that? What do you think, Derek? You think either of those guys are stale right now? Are you tired of Jericho?
A little bit. I mean, I get why they have Jericho there because Jericho's pretty much the man who can put certain wrestlers over, but I think he's outlived his stay right now. I think it's just time for him to kind of back off a little bit because we need to bring a little bit more. I don't know. I'm a little tired of Jericho as of right now. I think the feuds that he has right now just don't really make any sense.
Gotcha. What about Dean? Is he stale to you? No? Yay?
Just a little. I think he needs somebody to kind of bring that. I mean, if you want to say the asylum out of him, you need to give him somebody that could really bring it out of him. I don't think Jericho is that type of person that could do that.
Who do you think would be the kind of guy?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. At this point in time, I would say Bray Wyatt. So I would save it for him to come back.
Or heel Roman Reigns.
Or yeah.
Okay. I can rock with that, gentlemen. All right. So I got very little for these next few matches here. I got Dana Brooke defeats Becky Lynch. Okay. I mean, what do you guys think of Dana Brooke so far since her debut? She doing okay?
I think she's okay. Got to give a little bit more for me to kind of say, all right, I can accept her as of right now, but I think she's doing okay. I need to see just a little bit more out of her. I like the personality that she's bringing to the table. Just kind of like a cocky, stuck-up, blonde chick who's like, all right, well, I'm going to beat you down.
Are you familiar with her NXT work? Have you ever watched her on that?
As of right now, no, I have not. I've only seen her appear a couple times on the Big Show, but I haven't really seen her on NXT yet, so I have to go back and see her work.
See her from NXT. I don't know if Robert's going to agree with me, but I think she's come a long way. Because when I first saw her, I did not like her, and now I'm like, you know what? She's not so bad. She's not so bad. She's pretty good. Robert, what do you think right now of Dana Brooke?
She needs to come up as much as more of a bitch for her character to get where it should be. But I like what she's doing.
Okay. So yeah,
like Becky Lynch is a perfect opponent for her because she's so endearing to the crowd.
Yeah, and Becky Lynch sustained an injury, and they keep playing off of that. So I like it right now that they're doing that. And I think this could lead to you keep beating down Becky, and then Becky calls up Sasha to help her, and then that's when they get the big win. But we'll get into that in the news section. Emma is hurt now, and she's suffering from an injury, so who knows how this storyline is going to work itself out.
Yeah.
We get to the next segment here with Darren Young and Bob Backlund, basically talking about smartphones. And Bob Backlund asks, "What time is it?" He looks like my father or something, and he's got his watch on. And Darren Young looks at his smartphone, and he's his life coach or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know how I feel about this, but I do like that they're trying to do something different with Darren Young. So I'm not going to knock it yet. I kind of still am into it. Make Darren Young great again. What do you guys think? Is there hope for Darren Young? I always thought he was better than Titus. I'm going to say it.
That's not saying much, though.
Yeah, true. But I always thought he was the more favorable one in the tag team.
Yeah, I agree. I think the little banter that they had back and forth was good. It was funny. I thought it was really funny. But I do agree. I think Darren Young is a lot better than Titus O'Neil. I think Darren Young can put on a better show. He's probably one of the very few who can actually put on a show.
Yeah. Darren's got something. I just don't know if he's going to be able to. He's got to find the clicking and make it come out of him to get at least a mid-card push right now.
He's in the Adam Rose boat with me. I'm not a fan at all. Never will be.
Ooh, tough crowd on Darren Young. Backstage, we get to Shane and Stephanie, and they talk about their recent disagreements. And all of a sudden, the Dudley Boys come in asking for a squash match against two local jobbers. And Shane says no, and Shane says that you guys are going to go outside and decide who is going to fight Big Cass tonight in a one-on-one match. And shout-outs to Robert, because Robert posted a very cool, probably in my top 10 favorite promos from the Dudley Boys from ECW. If there's any kids watching right now, I will not have you listen to that promo. But it is great from ECW. What do you guys think of the Dudley Boys' role right now? Are the Dudley Boys serving a purpose? Some people have been calling them the Dudley Jobbers, which I don't agree with. But what do you guys think of Bubba Ray and Devon making these moves?
They're helping getting these other teams over. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they're definitely paving the way for them. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't really call them jobbers, though, but that's a little strong. They're doing what they need to do to people over, so I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary for them to do what they're doing at this point in time.
Agreed. We get a pretty cool kind of video package before the next match starts. And it kind of explains the history with R-Truth and Goldust, how it all started, with Goldust begging to be his partner. Then Goldust said, no, forget it. And then R-Truth said, man, we should just team up. And then Goldust doesn't want to team with him. Then they go and find different partners to fight each other. And finally we get the Golden Truth who come out. And they end up losing, actually, to Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Due to R-Truth misplacing a spinning heel kick on Goldust's face. Breeze throws out R-Truth. Breeze gets the win. I'm happy. But what do you guys think, though? Is this R-Truth and Goldust? Do you think there's more to this story than meets the eye? Or just give your thoughts, whatever you guys are thinking with it.
I don't know. I wasn't really looking forward to this at all. It's just something that's there. I wasn't really invested until you saw R-Truth in the ring doing his little rap, and Goldust is doing this creepy ass Buffalo Bill-esque dance. I was cracking up, man.
Yeah, Goldust is definitely funny. D, what are you thinking, man?
I don't know if they're trying to hold off for something. Because I think this at a long time ago this would have been a better tag team, and I got kind of sick of it now. So it's just like, do I really for it now?
I felt the same thing you did, kind of with the payoff. Like the payoff came way too late. Like I was expecting this probably 2 months ago that they would finish this. Carried on for way too long. But like I said, Tyler Breeze and his team get the win. Hopefully this leads to him and Fandango being a permanent team and that they can get some wins and form a good tag team here for the tag division. But 2 more teams added, so can't complain about that if you miss tag team wrestling. We get a funny segment with the New Day. New Day comes out to the ring and there's a drape over something. And as soon as I saw it, I thought to myself, Family Matters. And it reminded me of the Steven or Stefan Urkel time machine or a clone machine that they had. Some funny parts from this was definitely Big E saying it's clearly a refrigerator box with a sticky keyboard on it from your parents' house to Xavier Woods. I thought that was some good stuff in it. They go back in time, and I love that Kofi comes out with the Jamaican persona, and he's doing the boom boom, and there's gonna be trouble in paradise. And if you watched wrestling a long time ago, you already know how awful that was. But Kofi was such a great wrestler that you forgave it. And then the Vaudevillains basically come out and ambush New Day and put a little quick beat down on him. Made the Vaudevillains look strong, so I'm all about it. I like it. That was a good build up, I thought, for that. I'm sorry, I missed the part where New Day came out with these big mustaches and they were acting like they were from Vaudevillains' time, and they still did their New Day rocks, and then Vaudevillains attacked them. Robert, what are your thoughts on this segment overall? Did you laugh? Was it funny?
I thought it was a great segment. I didn't see any problems with it.
And Robert can attest, I did call that out before they even pulled the drape off of it, that I was like, it's going to be a time machine box, and I already know what this is. But good segment. Derek, what did you think? Did you laugh?
I did, man. Right now, I tell you, New Day is the tag team right now. So anybody who hates the New Day is just flat out crazy. They're putting on the show. They're giving us what we were used to back in the Attitude Era. You know, this is something that, I don't know, man. This is just something that we need. You know, they're doing what needs to be done, and I like the little back and forth between them and the Vaudevillains.
Yeah, definitely. The Vaudevillains, I think, have pulled this off very well. Their gimmick and everything that they've been involved with. I like Aiden English. I liked him when he was a solo act in NXT, and I think that they have some potential there. I don't think that they're going to get screwed up right now. They just have to stay focused and make sure that their gimmick doesn't get too silly and that they can have a mean streak with them.
Right. I agree. You know, I didn't expect the Vaudevillains to come up this early, but, you know, with all the injuries that came about, this was perfect time for them, and they're making good use of that time.
Definitely. We get to the next segment. Decent match. The Usos defeat Anderson and Gallows. Before I get into anything else, let me say this. I understand the loss here is for future storytelling, but there were a lot of people like, OMG, they're burying Gallows and Anderson. They were great in Japan. Why are they doing this to them? And I'm like, listen, guys, calm down. And I don't know if it's the Uso Hater Club or if it's something else, but and Derek's the president of the Uso Hater Club. So I don't understand what's the problem here with it, but I get what's going on. After the match, AJ and Roman come face to face. This is where the real storytelling gets in. Gallows hits Reigns in the Styles. The Usos and Anderson and Gallows brawl to the floor. AJ grabs a chair and tries to attack Reigns, but he ends up getting nailed with a mean uppercut from Roman. And Reigns grabs the steel chair and uses it on AJ. He then Superman punches Gallows and Anderson off of the apron. And then AJ starts wailing on him with the chair, and then he hits a Styles Clash onto the steel chair, which the people in North Carolina popped for. They were happy about that. Gentlemen, first let's talk about the Usos and Gallows and Anderson. What am I wrong in this? Do you guys think that it wasn't a burial for Anderson and Gallows? I mean, they could have booked it differently, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robert.
It's not a burial in any sense. They're gonna get their win back.
Well, what do you see? Do you think Anderson and Gallows are one of the top teams right now, or are they?
They're portrayed as such, but they do need some bigger wins. But ease them in. They just got here.
I think they're involved in a main event storyline. It's not like they're in a bad spot either. Derek, your hate for the Usos. Derek.
Listen. I don't hate the Usos, man. I just think over time they've gotten sloppy. They used to put on great matches. I don't know. I just think they've gotten sloppy with their moves and everything. And then they're doing the let's dab, and I think it's played out. It's time to let that go. Go on and put on a show like you used to do. As of burying Gallows and Anderson, I don't think that's happening at all. They're going to have their matches where they're winning, but this isn't just the time for them to start winning those big matches. This isn't a big match. This is to put over Reigns and AJ Styles. This is to get them two together to make this a bigger and better rivalry between the two.
Exactly. When we get into the predictions, I'll share why I said that about this piece. But not a big deal. But overall, though, I said it was pretty decent. It was a good segment.
I thought it was good.
Hold on, guys. Before we go any further, any NBA fans out there? Philly number 1, LA number 2, Boston number 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. Little breaking news for our NBA fans. I'm a huge basketball fan, if people don't know as well. Big Cass defeats Devon Dudley in a short match. Makes quick work of him. And I did ask on Twitter, is Vince McMahon turning the corner and starting to fall in love with Big Cass? I think he is. I definitely think he is.
I think the dog disagrees.
Perhaps. I don't know though, man. I think that if Enzo doesn't come back soon, man, Cass may be getting that big push like Tess got at 99. I don't know.
Yeah,
Vince is falling in love.
I think Vince has fallen in love with Big Cass. Vince is all about get the big muscular men going and who can manhandle somebody. So I think Big Cass has fallen into a great spot right now.
Yeah.
He's not bad either.
Yeah, what were some of his insults? Do you remember him yesterday, Robert?
The Steve Urkel one had me going.
Oh, yes. The Steve Urkel of the squared circle. Yes. Big Cass was on point. And then the stuttering with Bubba Ray cracks me up every single time. I don't even want to do that because I'll start stuttering for the rest of the show if I start doing that. But hilarious. And he just made quick work of him. I like it. Big Cass looks strong right now. And I'm down. I just hope that they don't break him and Enzo up. I don't think it's time yet. It's way, way, way too soon if they start doing that.
By far, not time to break them up. I think this is just showing that he has dominance by himself, but he's also a great tag team partner.
But they did do this before down at NXT when when Enzo broke his leg. Cass was doing all the dirty work while Enzo was just out there talking shit. And it worked.
Well, Enzo didn't even come out with him for a little bit, for quite some time. He had the, was it the motorized scooter?
The rascal.
Yeah.
The rascal.
Riding around, riding dirty.
Yep.
We get to the most hated man in the internet in this next segment, Alberto Del Rio. You have to take it easy on this guy. Yes, Alberto Del Rio is dating Paige. And I know everyone's like, ew, that's disgusting. He's an old man. Listen, guys, one day you're going to be an old man too. All right? Respect it. Respect it. That's all I'm going to say. She's of age. She's almost, 24? She knows what she's doing. She's fine. Alberto Del Rio knows what he's doing. So I'm not here to hate. Good for you, ADR. Put on better matches still. But Alberto Del Rio defeats Kalisto. I will say I did laugh when Sin Cara was backstage watching the match, and Rusev just super kicks him to the dome in the middle of the match. Like, yeah, that's how you feel watching these 3-hour Raws. Yeah, come on, you're coming with me up front. Puts a beat down on him, and Del Rio gets the win with the backstabber, and Rusev beats down both the Lucha Dragons. Are you guys interested right now in Rusev and Kalisto and everything that's going on?
Get the belt on Rusev as quick as possible. I'm sick of this Kalisto shit. I like him. He's not a good champion. He's not a good champion.
So you don't see the next Rey Mysterio on him or anything like that?
Not yet.
Okay. So he's best staying in a tag team to you?
For now.
Derek, same question.
Yeah, I agree. Get the belt on Rusev. Get that dominance that he used to have again. Let Rusev be Rusev. As far as Kalisto goes, he's not as polished as Rey Mysterio. Not trying to compare the two, but Kalisto has a lot of mistakes in the ring that are noticeable. Like, he's got a lot of those that happen throughout a match. That I know you can't be perfect every time, but you got to minimize those somewhere down the line, and you gotta hide it better than you're showing it, because you're showing it 95% of the time and everybody can catch it. So when everybody's cheering for him after he does like a spectacular move, and then you get the botch, everybody cheering, and then it's like, oh, he kind of messed up. So what are we supposed to do? The crowd is taken out of, they're taken out of it because he botched the move. So Kalisto, I think he's better off right now staying polished as a tag team partner.
Yeah, hopefully it works out better. I don't know, man. I feel like these guys could all be dead in the water here. They gotta play it smart right now, but they're in a good spot. They're on TV every week, so no complaints. And we get to the main event, which is a women's contract signing, and a lot of people are complaining and wondering why this is occurring. WWE is trying to make their women's competitors taken more seriously. The weird thing is I don't hear anyone complaining about AJ Styles or Roman Reigns not being in the main event segment. So, just my little tangent on that. But they add the stipulation if Ric Flair comes down to ringside, Charlotte will lose the women's title. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Flair is banned from ringside, and it goes into Natalya winding up putting Charlotte in the sharpshooter. And I believe that is it for Raw. I mean, are you guys into this women's championship match?
I am.
I am too. I think this is a great opportunity. You have too many women's wrestlers, women's champions, possible women's champions, who are putting on a show and not getting enough respect for it. I think we've sat on the divas too long, so now people are just kind of like, I don't really care. But I think this generation of women that are wrestling right now need to have that respect shown because they're actually wrestling like the women back in the Attitude Era. This is wrestling that like it used to be. That's just me.
Yeah, hopefully people take this match a little bit more serious for the women's competitors. I think they're going to put on a heck of a match, personally. I like that Ric Flair is not there. Something that Mark and Casey brought up previously to me have been Ric Flair is taking away from Charlotte. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, that Charlotte could be better by herself than having old Rick around, hanging around, ruining stuff. And he took a heck of a slap from Stephanie yesterday.
Now, I thought the second it was a great set for that yesterday. Charlotte came off great until Ric Flair started speaking. I think he kind of ruined the segment for me.
Yeah, I mean, Rick, that's what I'm wondering should Rick not be out there as much?
I don't
Absolutely.
think
It does its job. It does make you hate her more because of the association, but he's overdoing it.
I think Rick is going to get involved. I think Charlotte has to come out by herself sometimes, and then Rick comes out of nowhere and was like, oh, Charlotte, do this, do this, do this. Get the distraction going, and then boom, Charlotte wins. Having Rick come out every night that she's wrestling, it is being a little overdone. I kind of get tired of seeing Rick. Like, okay, Rick, I love you, man. Trust me, I love you, but back off a little bit. Let your daughter do her thing.
Yeah, and I think that's coming either way it goes, whether it's Charlie gets rid of him or vice versa, or he just takes the walk. But we'll see what happens. And Rick's doing this probably because he needs the money, So we get to the next segment, gentlemen. That was the end of Raw. No, actually, no, it's not. Raw. I'm going to say this every week till it happens. Please stop making Raw 3 hours. It is way too long. I don't like it. Too long. I love wrestling. Robert knows I'm probably the biggest wrestling fan he knows. And I cannot stand 3-hour Raws. It's too much every week, man. So we lose a match or two. Boo-hoo. Put the pre-show on if it has to be 3 hours in the beginning for the first hour. I don't need this.
All right. Remember, you're a businessman. It's all about ad revenue.
Yes, I get it. But you're killing your show. You're killing your volume. You're killing the reason you get ads so the consumers watch, right?
You're making more money now with this format. So they're not going to stop that.
They are, but couldn't you make the same money if you had a pre-show on the first hour instead of draining your people?
Pre-show is at their expense. USA pays for Raw.
Right, but you could have it still be Raw pre-show and have one match on it. Like the kickoff show match to Raw.
Yeah,
Big whoop.
agreed. I think I think Raw is way too long. Sometimes I have to in order to make it through Raw, I have to watch something else on my phone to make it through it. Because and it's just too long, man. It's like, all right, I can't sit here and keep watching this because obviously it's a show on TV, so therefore you're getting the show, and then you're getting commercials on top of that with the ads and everything. So I find myself having to go to my phone and be like, all right, let me watch this to get past this because this is just too long.
Exactly. My apologies, folks. We get to the second segment, pro wrestling news. I'm going to bring up 4 different things right now, gentlemen. We're just going to quickly run through them before we get to our Extreme Rules preview and predictions. One of my favorites. First, I have thoughts on Stardust and Eden constantly teasing this return of Cody Rhodes. Do you guys prefer Stardust over Cody? Do you want Cody to come back? Is Stardust played out?
I like Stardust, but Dashing Cody Rhodes does need to make a return.
Yeah, I agree. I like them both. Obviously, they can't be here at the same time, but I say if you bring back Cody Rhodes, I don't know if it's too late, but you have to bring Goldust in to bring back Cody Rhodes. That has to happen if you're going to do that. At least
that was my point with the R-Truth and Goldust segment previously. Is this leading to something with Cody Rhodes instead? Like Cody's like, man, forget him, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Cody comes back, saves his brother from a beatdown from R-Truth or something. Is this going to link them back up? Maybe.
I would certainly hope that that's the way that it's going, because I would love to see Cody Rhodes back. I mean, I love Stardust because he's funny as hell, but Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes, you know. So I would love to see them go that route to bring Cody back.
And I want Cody to get a actual push for once, not this mid-card level stuff. Let Cody try and be the man for once. Let Cody go after the world title. It won't hurt even if he loses. Just let him be in that main event picture. I think he can hold his own. I think it's worth a shot on him. That's just me.
No, I agree. I think he deserves that actual push. There's a lot of people who deserve a push that aren't getting it, and Cody Rhodes is one of them.
One just got released.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with the pushes, though, too. Everybody can't be the world champ. Everybody can't be a main eventer. But some people deserve to be on TV or in a more prominent role, and Cody Rhodes is one of them. Same with Sandow. Wade Barrett, too. Those guys are just on that list of guys who I think they're just lost in the shuffle. The Sheamus, the Zigglers, the Cody Rhodes. Find something for these guys to do.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think Cody should have got a push after the Rhodes versus the Shield match. That he should have got a push way after that. The heart that he put into that match, come on. I think he deserved at least
We're all there.
titles for at least for a different title, you know, Intercontinental or something.
Yeah. I mean, Cody was the one who brought back the classic Intercontinental title design, so he's always a good guy in my book. We get to Emma. Emma has ruptured a disc, which will require back surgery, which is scheduled for tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's ever going to show this to Emma, but Emma, I was the dude one time that you saw. You asked me if there was a Tim Hortons around, and I told you no. And then afterwards, I was like, well, you have a good day, Emma. And then you looked at me, and you were surprised you did the little dance to me. And I thought that was always real cool because she didn't think I knew who she was or what she was about. I was just like, yeah, I know who you are. So I like Emma a lot. I always thought she was really good at NXT. Sad to see her push get stopped like this. I thought she was on a real roll currently.
Yeah, agreed. I really like Emma. At first, if it wasn't for you, I would have never come to like her as much as I do now, because I didn't really like the gimmick that she had before, but then I got past the gimmick and actually watch her wrestle, and the girl can wrestle. So now the gimmick that she has now makes me fall in love with her even more because she has the attitude, the drive, and the skill, and not a lot of them have that. So to hear her have to be taken out because of his back injury, I mean, you can't really stop it It's gonna happen somewhere down the line. But to hear her be out for this, it to me it's a big blow.
Yeah, definitely a heartbreak. Robert, I got one for you. Vince McMahon sells $30 million in stock. What's going on with this? You think Vinnie Mac's pulling out? I don't think that.
No.
But
He's
I think
pulling
he's building. He's got to be building a pool or something, man. I don't know. He's
$30 million pool.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to be doing some stuff though that he wants to get some money.
He's invested in something, but then you did notice that Shane McMahon, who didn't have any ownership before he came back, as far as I know, he's got about 2% now.
Yeah, Shane's got a little bit of money still in the company. More than most, too.
He's almost up there with Stephanie.
Yeah, well, and Kevin Dunn's close to them, too.
That motherfucker.
But Vince McMahon still owns 48% of the stock, if I'm not incorrect. So, and I'm getting real nerdy. I'm sorry if you guys don't want to hear this. I'm like Yahoo Finance, and I saw the stock went down today a little bit. But Vince McMahon selling the stock probably was part of the reason that occurred. D, what do you think if Vince McMahon takes this money and he just says, I want to retire, I'm done, or I'm looking at selling the company? Could you see Vince wanting to do something like that? Would the company be in better hands of a Disney, or do you think it should just stay with Triple H and Stephanie and the family?
I would say I think it's better if it stays in the hands of Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H, or however you want to put it. Because Triple H is actually showing like he has the talent, and let's just say the minor leagues in the NXT. You have a lot of people down there that show that they have the skills, and they're ready to push them. I think Vince is that roadblock where he's saying, I'm not really convinced that these players can get pushed like this. But they have the confidence in them, and yet you can see, I honestly, CJ, I know we don't agree on Tyler Breeze. I know we don't. But Tyler Breeze can wrestle his ass off. And they're burying him right now. And I think that's all because of Vince. So sooner or later Vince has to realize that this is the new era. This is what's going to make the money for you. So you need these minor league players to get that money for you. If you don't make that decision now, I think it's time for you to step aside and let them do it, because they're going to bring you the money regardless.
Yeah, and then we get to the last piece of news that I want to talk about. Facebook Live today announced for NXT TakeOver. You get Regal in there, you got Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. This reminds me of WrestleMania 3, how they had this all set up. Regal shows the video of what happened at NXT Portland. Shout out to Casey Briggs, who was there live. He sent some photos into our Facebook group. That's another reason why you should join. Click that. And people basically Finn Balor drop kicked Samoa Joe into the fans basically near ringside. It's a big brawl. People are coming out. They're tearing each other apart. And Regal basically says, we can't control you two, so we're going to have an NXT first. And it's in a steel cage, and I believe you posted it, right, Robert, that video? Mm-hmm. And you get this big match right now that's signed, and Regal says that they're going to put him in a cage. And Joe shows a lot of heart in the promo, which is one of the reasons why I love Samoa Joe. And I actually thought Finn came off very well here as well. Robert, let me ask you this. Are you tired of this match? I saw some people writing, I'm so sick of this.
Hell no. If I say Kevin Owens is the MVP of 2016, Samoa Joe is definitely runner-up in my book.
Really? Now, do you prefer Joe as a face or a heel? I know I'm getting
I prefer Joe as Joe. He can do whatever the hell he wants. he brings it 100% every time.
Personally, I don't think that there's anything in particular that Samoa Joe can't do. You know what I mean? Like, he can work either way, and I love him the same amount either way it goes, because Joe just is a character who I can identify with, and I get exactly. And he shows anger. Like, when you lose, you have to show anger. You can't be like, oh, I'm okay with it. So I'm excited for Samoa Joe Finn Balor in a steel cage June 8th on the WWE Network from Full Sail. D, do you have any thoughts on Samoa Joe, Finn Balor being in the cage? I know you don't watch NXT too much, but
You know what? I this is a match that I will be dying to see because I actually do like Samoa Joe. It took me a while to get in tune with Joe. I always liked Finn Balor, but it took me a while to get in tune with him. So I think this match will be a great match. Anybody who says otherwise is crazy because they put on a great match before. And if it wasn't for CJ to put me on to that last pay-per-view that they had, I never would have watched it and I never would have seen it. But now, watching Joe and Finn Balor go at it, this is kind of like your Austin and Triple H type fights. This is like, all right, I'm brute force and I'm gonna go at you, and then it's also, well, I got brute force too, but I got finesse as well. So I like the match.
yeah, they have a lot of potential to do this again. And I keep telling people, don't be discouraged by this match. That doesn't mean Finn's not coming to the main roster. Anything can happen. If Vince wants you, you're coming up tomorrow. You're coming up tomorrow. You may have to do that match for Triple H, but you can come up tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But gentlemen, it is probably one of my favorite times. We're going to talk Extreme Rules, give some predictions, who's going to win. And I might bring this up next week because right now I'm 2-0, baby, against people who come on the show. Doing pretty well. Knock on wood, because I know I'm going to have a real bad one soon. We got the pre-show kickoff match. Baron Corbin, who must be taking Ryback's spot as the pre-show stopper, versus Dolph Ziggler in an no DQ match. Gentlemen, what do you think of this feud, and who do you got winning?
If Baron Corbin doesn't win, somebody needs to go. Baron Corbin needs this win so bad right now. If he's trying to establish a dominant heel.
Yeah, agreed. I think Baron Corbin needs to win this. I'm a Dolph Ziggler fan and a Baron Corbin fan, but I think Baron Corbin has this one. I think he has too much push for right now for them to be like, oh, Dolph Ziggler is going to win this. No, if Dolph Ziggler was going to win, he could have won 2 other times. Now is not the time to say, all right, let's back out and have Ziggler win and then let Baron Corbin lose. No, I think Baron Corbin is going to win this. Dolph Ziggler is going to put on a hell of a show for you, but I think it's going to come down to Baron Corbin winning at the last minute.
I am also taking Baron Corbin, gentlemen, for the exact same reasons you said. He's the up-and-coming talent. He's who you need to push. No offense to Dolph Ziggler, but I think I'm at the point of if he leaves after his contract's over, I respect it. He should have been given more opportunities, but now I think it's too little too late, and it's hard to care about Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm being serious. That is a sad thing to say.
No, it's agreed. I think they buried Ziggler too much for anybody to care about him anymore. So,
well, I'm not going to say they buried him. Buried means you wouldn't be on TV. But I do think that Sandow was buried. Ziggler is given an opportunity to show off his stuff, but they never give him the win because I don't know. It must be him being outspoken and stuff. They just must not be fans of it. What do I have down next? U.S. title match. We got Kalisto, who is the U.S. champion, versus Rusev with Lana. If I could, I'd pick Lana, folks, but I can't. Who's winning this U.S. title match, gentlemen? Who do you guys got?
Rusev, the Bulgarian brute.
All right, where are you going with this?
They just need to get the title off of Kalisto.
Okay. D, who you got?
Yeah, sad to say, man, I think I gotta agree with Robert, man. Some way, shape, or form, they're gonna let Kalisto lose this match, and whether it goes to Rusev or Lana, that's just how it's gonna be. It's gonna go to Lana, and then Rusev is gonna just carry it and be like, yeah, I beat Kalisto, but Kalisto's not winning this match. In some odd way, shape, or form, he's not winning this match.
And guess who's going to be the different one right here? I'm going to say Kalisto retains the championship, gentlemen. By hook or by crook. And I think it'll lead into a feud with Rusev Del Rio versus Sin Cara and Kalisto. I have no knowledge on this or anything. That's what I think is just going to happen. I think they put too much time and invested too much into Kalisto to take the belt off them. I think they're going to force it down our throats a little bit.
Well, I see, but
And it sounds awful as well.
I don't know, man. I just think they're gonna take the belt off Kalisto some way, shape, or form. They're just gonna say, all right, we need this to happen. You might get your rematch, you might not. No guarantees, but
because there's nowhere to go from this. Rusev gets the belt back, and then what? What's he gonna shake in his boots till Cena comes back in 2 weeks? Like, I don't know.
I forgot about Cena.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. So it'll be interesting to see. We get to the IC title match, Fatal 4-Way between The Miz, who is the champion, versus Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. This is another tough one to call, guys. I don't know. Derek, who you got?
I got Cesaro.
Ooh, okay.
I got Cesaro. You know, it's gonna come down to I can't really put my finger on it, but I do have Cesaro winning this match. It's gonna come down to something that happens in a weird way. Like, it's gonna be like, all right, maybe we'll get a double count, but then they're gonna be like, well, we don't have the winner here, but now we gotta keep this going. Cesaro's gonna end up pinning The Miz after, I'd say, probably he's not gonna hit his finisher on him. He's gonna give him like a European uppercut, probably one of the meanest uppercuts you've ever seen.
Should be the finish.
It should be the finisher, but I think that's how it's going to end. It's going to end with Cesaro giving an uppercut right to The Miz, with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens outside the ring knocked out, because they're going to be too busy going at it to realize that this is happening. So then when they finally realize it, they're rushing in to break up the count, but it's too late because Cesaro hit Miz with the uppercut. 1, 2, 3.
Robert, who you taking to win this?
I'm gonna have to go with The Miz.
Ooh, okay.
You
Give me
gonna
your
say
logic.
that?
In here.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's feud is gonna continue. They don't need the belt for this.
Okay.
And if you take the belt off The Miz right away, he's not gonna have much to do. I say keep it on him. Let Cesaro get it at the next one.
Okay, I am going to actually agree with Derek on this one. I'm going to say Cesaro walks away as the new Intercontinental Champ just to switch things up for a little bit. I think the feud can still continue if you even have those guys battling with each other at the next pay-per-view. Miz tries to get his title back, his rematch, however you want it. And I'm with D. I think that it's going to end off of a decent match. I would love to see some more interaction with Zayn and Cesaro. If they could do that cool spot from NXT where Cesaro holds him up and then throws him in the air for that uppercut, oh, the best. The best. But that's what I got going here. And I think Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, that's going to continue till SummerSlam, to a big blow-off match or something. I think those two should actually cost each other the belt at least once each in this match. Like in big spots where you're like, oh, I thought it was over there. And they cost each other the belt, and that's the reason of this whole feud.
Agreed.
Next, tag titles match. We got the New Day versus the Vaude Villains. Robert, who do you see taking home the gold?
I'm kind of torn on this one, but I'm going to have to go with the New Day.
Okay. Any particular reason why you think New Day's winning?
Vaude Villains aren't over enough as heels yet, I feel. And I still think it's too early to take the belts off of New Day. They're doing great with them. They're doing great business with them.
D.
I think that whatever they're calling them, the club, the Bullet Club, whatever, they're gonna be the ones to take it from them. If not them, maybe the Shining Stars. I just see that dynamic working.
No, dude.
I just see it working, man.
We're done with that. I don't want to ever hear about them. D. Who do you got winning the tag team title match?
Man, I still have the New Day holding on to it. I agree the Vaude Villains aren't up to par yet to be able to take that title on. I don't think they're ready to be the tag team champions right now. They do have promise though, but I don't think it's right now. I think Bob Villains are gonna, after seeing what they did last night on Raw, I think they're gonna show the veracity that they have, and I think that's gonna be the end game for them. And then I think New Day is just gonna pull that out at the last second, like, all right, boom, Kofi Kingston gonna catch someone. He's gonna catch someone with a super kick, and then they're gonna end up hitting that tag team move that they always do.
I'm going to go with New Day as well on this one, gentlemen. I just think it's too soon. I think the Bob Villains are going to where they are going to. And I think this was the plan all along, either way it goes. I don't see any difference occurring here. Women's title. We have a submission match with Ric Flair. Woo! Banned from ringside. So we have Charlotte versus Natalya. Derek, who you got winning this?
We spoke earlier about this, and then I had to think about it. I think Charlotte is going to win over Natalya because this will be a match where she has to show that she can do it without her father now. Because her father's always been in her corner, whether he was there or not. Now he's banned from ringside. Now she has to show that she can beat Natalya by herself and show and prove that she is the women's champion right now. Because whether she has the belt or not, she's not really showing and proving that she's the women's champion. She's the women's champion with her father's help, given the fact that he's distracting and causing other people to match. Now she has the chance to prove that she deserves to be the women's champion right now without her father.
All right. Robert, who you taking?
Charlotte for those exact same reasons.
And I have to agree. We went back and forth about it before because he was trying to give reasons as to why Natalya could win. And like I said, I think this is still leading to the long term, which I hope it's not too late, will be Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. It's almost time. I think you have to give us that match sooner than later. The next pay-per-view is it Money in the Bank or no? Or is it Battleground? Anybody know? I'm so confused, but I think in June or July you have to start building towards this match. Even if you give us a match and Charlotte gets DQ'd or whatever, and then at least the SummerSlam, and at SummerSlam you give Sasha her big moment. But Charlotte's gonna win this one, I think, guys. And Natalya, I love you, but I don't think they're gonna give her the belt. She's done great work, and I think this is kind of the tribute to that. So much respect to you, Natty. We'll see where it goes.
Also, Sasha's over enough. She's loved enough that she can have that match anytime and it'll still be well received.
Yes.
I think so. I think Sasha getting the belt at SummerSlam is the best way to go.
Best for business, for sure.
I think that's the best time for her to take the reins and run with them, because it's, Charlotte's had her run. This is.
I think Charlotte just broke a record, didn't she? About most consecutive pay-per-views with a women's match in it was her. Yeah, so Charlotte's breaking records, man. She's really good. We got the Asylum match. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. This is probably one of the harder matches to call as well. That's a one-on-one.
Ambrose.
Oh, Robert, you call just straight up Ambrose? No,
Ambrose.
Any reasons? What thoughts behind it?
He needs it more.
Does he?
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. I think Ambrose needs this. He needs this match, man. I mean, I've kind of fallen off from Ambrose. It's just like Ambrose is there, and now they kind of gave him that little segment, the Asylum, with the little plant. I don't know.
His name is Mitch.
Yeah, I don't really care for it. It's funny sometimes, but I don't really care for it. So I think he really needs this match to reestablish himself.
If Dean Ambrose wins this match, same question to the viewers who are watching right now. Do you care more if Ambrose wins?
I think I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I speak for myself. I think he needs it. I care because Ambrose is a great wrestler. I I think he's just being held back for right now because they're trying to figure out what to do because they have so many gaps in the roster right now.
So if he wins this match against Jericho, you're telling me you're not going to care anymore? Or does it depend on how the match goes?
I think it depends on how the match goes. I really do think it depends on how the match goes because at this point in time, I really need them to put on at least a 4-star match.
Okay.
For me,
That's a lot from a cage match.
Yeah. Robert, I mean, well, it's a gimmick match, so matches are usually more well received. What do you think, Robert? Are you going to care if Ambrose gets his victory, or is it going to depend on what they do next?
It depends on how he wins and what they do the next night on Raw.
All right.
This should definitely be the blow-off to the feud, and what they do next with Ambrose should mean more. So it all depends on where they go with it after.
Yeah,
I feel he does need this win.
I think they have to play it right because if Ambrose wins, then it's kind of like, where do you go from here? You know, it's like, what do you have next for Ambrose? Like, what's next after this? Because he doesn't have a feud with anybody else, unless if you bring Triple H back. But that feud between him and Triple H kind of ended, so it was just like, all right. So who's he got next? Because can't feud with Roman Reigns. Unless if you make Dean Ambrose a heel to come help out him and the Usos. But at this point in time, I think that's doing a little too much. I think the club and AJ Styles and Roman Reigns and the Usos is enough in its own. To have Ambrose come in and turn heel and do something like that kind of falls out of place. So it's like, where do you go with Ambrose after this match?
Yeah, interesting thoughts, gentlemen. I like it. I also go with Dean Ambrose for the victory here for many of the same reasons you guys said. I'm with Robert. He does need the victory more. Jericho, I don't know. Who knows if he's even sticking around? This could be his last run. We don't know. Main event, WWE title match, Extreme Rules match, Roman Reigns, the champion, versus AJ Styles. I expect a lot of shenanigans to occur. So, Derek, who walks out with the belt? What do you see happening from this situation?
You know what? I say Reigns is walking out. Gallows and Anderson are gonna be there. The Usos are gonna be there. And I'm going out big time with this. Gallows, Anderson, Usos, they go at it. They take their fight backstage somehow, or they get knocked out on the ring side. They're all knocked out, beaten up. Roman Reigns and AJ Styles go at it. They're staggering. I say AJ hits Reigns with the leaping elbow. Tries to go for the finisher. Reigns somehow reverses that with a back body drop, or however you want to look at it. Reigns hits AJ Styles with the Superman punch. Then he goes for the spear, and here's where I'm going out with this. He goes for the spear, and Seth Rollins comes out to interfere.
Interfere on whose behalf?
Interfere on
His own behalf.
Yeah, pretty much his own behalf.
To mess them both up, or?
No, I want to say he's coming out to interfere, but it's after Roman Reigns wins. Roman Reigns will win the title. He'll keep the title, but after Roman Reigns wins this match, Seth Rollins comes out to reestablish himself because Seth Rollins is practically back. He just hasn't gotten the okay yet, but I feel by this time he will have the okay. Because you're talking about Rollins is supposed to come back, next time, this next Raw coming up or something like that?
I think the week after.
Yeah, the week after. Okay, so I'm not believing that. If they played it smart, I'd have him come back at that point in time and say, I had a short run, okay? This was a short run with the title. I want my title back.
That he never lost.
right, that he never lost. So this is the time where Rollins comes in like, I am, I am the perfect wrestler right now. I am the perfect specimen of a wrestler. This is my title. This is my time. Give it back.
Okay.
That's just how
I
I feel.
love that idea. I
Okay.
don't think it's gonna happen, but I love that idea.
Okay, Robert, give me yours.
I don't think it will, but I want it to happen.
All right, Rob, what you got?
I'm going Reigns, and I'm going, like you call, shenanigans. I think Roman is not going to have any trouble with losing this title until Rollins comes back.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just don't think Vince wants to put the title on AJ.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think ever.
Oh, hard.
No, he has a problem with outside guys. You see what he did with Sting.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
Sting should have came back in 03, but we're not going to get into
You know how I feel about Sting, so whatever. But
that. I'm going to. Oh, I'm sorry. No, finish your thoughts. So you see shenanigans. Is there a turn in this? Is there anything? You think we're all overthinking it?
I could see a turn. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna keep this going until Rollins comes back. So maybe accidentally one of the Bullet Club members hits AJ or something, which leads to a spear.
I'm gonna throw it out and be different here. I don't think it's possible to pull off the Reigns is with Gallows in them and turn him heel anymore. Like, I think that's gone. That theory was there last month. I don't think it's there now. What if I'm just gonna fantasy book because I was gonna say the opposite of whatever someone didn't say. What if Finn Balor is the one who shows up and costs AJ that match? Similar to what D said about the ending, they're staggering. They're both laid out. I believe Ice mentioned this before. Finn gets on the top rope. He shows up. He's in the demon outfit. And they're like, oh, who's he going to help? He looks at Roman, sets him up. Before he does the double stomp to the chest or whatever, the 1916, he hits it on AJ Styles. It says, yeah, the Balor Club is born. And that's how the pay-per-view goes off air. You're like, oh, man, that's crazy.
I would also love to see that. The only way I think it'll work, though, is if you have AJ laid out one side diagonal, Roman laid out the other way diagonal. I think Balor's talented enough where he could do it where he's on Reigns' side on the turnbuckle, and he jumps over Reigns and hits AJ with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like that idea, too. I also like the idea of same scenario, but now you take Dean Ambrose, turn him heel, let Reigns win the match, dirty deeds to Roman Reigns out of jealousy because Ambrose had a chance at winning the title but couldn't come through. So now he's seeing all the success that Roman is having.
I think something like that could only happen if he loses to Jericho.
Mm-mm.
Like he flips out because he lost to Jericho. Like, I've had it. I'm done with this. It's trash. And then you could bring Rollins back as a face because that's what I thought they were going with. Rollins comes back as a face. He does something there. But there's still time for it. Maybe he starts back as a heel, and then they're like, the people are cheering him, and then they do the slow kind of turn.
If Seth Rollins comes back, he could beat a puppy to death. He'd still be cheered. I think.
Listen, I think Rollins could get the Stone Cold treatment because it's up in the air. It's 50-50. You could be the heel or you could be the face. Stone Cold was neither one. It was left up for the people to decide whether you like him or you don't. Rollins is just there to win. You know,
Who
Rollins.
didn't like Stone Cold? You gotta. Foul mouth text and drinking beer, man.
Exactly.
I agree, gentlemen. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Seth Rollins' rise occurs, what Dean Ambrose is going to do the next night after this, what's going to happen with the WWE Championship. Does Vince McMahon actually hate AJ Styles and TNA guys? Is the stink not off AJ yet? There's many different ways this could go. But, folks, this was episode 21 of Everything Pro Wrestling. Once again, follow me on Twitter at Conrad Kushman. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Share the video if you're interested. And join the Facebook group, Everything Pro Wrestling Group. Join the discussions on there. Robert, you got any shout-outs?
Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Lauren.
Absolutely. And D, anything going on you want to shout out?
Just shout out to everybody who enjoys good wrestling, good storytelling. Shout out to you guys. Y'all, family is always family. That's about it, man. Just come through and check my boy's channel out.
Shout out to Brandon and shout out to Everything Pro Wrestling page on Facebook. Go like and subscribe.
My man. That's what I like. Gentlemen, we are out. Guys, I want to hear your comments below, though. I want to hear your Extreme Rules predictions. I'll have a post up in the Facebook section as well. Just make sure you leave your predictions. Stand by your predictions, too, because sometimes you do get called out for them. And let us know who you think is going to get the wins this Sunday. We'll be back next week to review Extreme Rules and Monday Night Raw, and we are out.
Shout out my boy Carter.